And good morning, everybody. I am 10 Tampa Bay meteorologist Rich Fields in the newsroom here, Gandy Boulevard in St. Pete. And it's time to take a check at the weather forecast, not only for today, but for the next couple of days. Also, we're going to look at the tropics. There's some things going on down there that we want to particularly take a look at as well. So, oops, sorry about that. Clicked the wrong button. That's what happens, right? All right, so let's start with our live shots in and around the Tampa Bay area, watching the cloud cover build up. Today, I'll just start at the top by saying today is going to be one of the driest days we have seen in a long, long time. Big, massive dry air has moved into the area. Really, it's for today, kind of gets a little saturated again tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, and a little more moisture comes back in by the weekend, but we're still going to stay with about a 50% chance of rain through the next couple of days. We'll go through the 7-day here in a couple of seconds. But let's take a skip around and see what we've got. There's the shot from the Wyndham Grand, Clearwater Beach. You can see the cloud cover out in the Gulf. We had some spotty shower activity to the north through the Nature Coast early this morning, up through the Crystal River area. And actually, it was really more like Citrus County northward. And we'll look at Futurecast. You're going to see that that's going to be one of the areas that sees more precipitation throughout the day today as well, and later on tonight. There's the Bellwether Beach Resort camera. Some of those cumulus clouds out there as well. Really nice live shots. There's downtown Tampa, looking out over the Davis Islands, Tampa General. And that gives us an opportunity to go ahead and look at the current temperature. Downtown right now, 88 degrees with the dew points hovering in the mid-70s forever, it seems like now. The feels like temperature, nearly 100 degrees already downtown. 99 degrees is the feel like temperature. And today is actually National Eat Outside Day, believe it or not. I don't think there's anybody in the state of Florida that's going to be eating outside. I wanted to show you this because this is a time lapse from the Clearwater Beach camera earlier this morning. And it just gives you a good indication of how the cloud cover comes streaming in along the coast, almost parallel to the coast today. A little bit of a northwesterly, southwest to northeasterly flow, I should say. But it started early in the morning, really parallel to the coast, and then kind of switched up and moved inland a little bit. But that gives you an indication of some of the cloud cover that was out there this morning. But here's our headlines. Drier air moving into the area. Rain chances are lowering because of that dry air. And high temperatures are going to stay, even with the drier air moving into the area, they're going to stay low to mid-90s the next few days. As I mentioned, today's National Eat Outside Day. Maybe under some cover, you might be able to shave off a few degrees, but we're looking for a daytime high downtown today at about 90 degrees. Maybe you can eat outside later on tonight, 85 degrees by about dinner time. There's some current temperatures, pardon me, in and around the area. Look at the rain-cooled air up in the Crystal River area. As I mentioned, we had shower activity blow through there and still some cloudy skies and some shower activity. 77 degrees right now up in the Crystal River area, where everybody else, look at just below them, a few miles away in Brooksville, 10 degrees warmer, as a matter of fact. Newport Richey, you're at 83, Wesley Chapel, 88, Carrollwood, portions of North Tampa, about 85. Out at the airport, we're at 88. And along the coast, Clearwater Beach, 86, same for St. Pete, 88. Down in Bradenton, Sarasota at 87. Lakeland, you guys are at 86. 80 out in Polk County. Winter Haven, you're at 85. Right now for current temperature. There's the 24-hour temperature change, and remember this number up here in Crystal River is skewed because of the rain-cooled air I was just talking about. But everybody else is, for the most part, anywhere from 1 to 4 degrees cooler right now than we were 24 hours ago. How's that going to pan out with regard to our daytime high? Well, we're going to talk about that in just a second. There's some of the observed rainfall from yesterday, and you can see who the big winners were. Up through the Nature Coast, obviously, is where we had the most rainfall. Half an inch of rain in Brooksville, 0.4 of an inch of rain in Crystal River. Plant City, Zephyr Hills both made out pretty good. They were working on 0.4 of an inch of rain. Clearwater Beach just got a few hundredths. Everybody else in trace amounts. all the way out through Sebring. Today, actually, we're going to see, pardon me, a little more activity inland as this dry air moves in. It's going to be very hard for convection to take place. So we're not going to see a whole lot of rain today. There's current winds on the board right now. We're getting more of a southerly fetch, southeasterly to southerly fetch will turn southwesterly later on today. Matter of fact, some of the wind barbs already indicating we're getting sort of a southwesterly push up to the north and east right now through Zephyr Hills, Brooksville. You can see the wind barbs pointing to the north and east right now. There's the satellite and radar. Check out some of that cloud cover that moved into the Nature Coast up here. That is still lingering for us. Let me go on a little closer on the service area. Yeah, even some thunderstorm activity off the coast right now, up through the Nature Coast. So they're going to be the big winners today with regard to rainfall, that's for sure. A lot of this is moving on shore as we speak. There's the live radar for you so you can get an indication. I took out the movement so you can see some of the rainfall moving in to these areas. And again, north of I-4, best chances of seeing rainfall. Really, Nature Coast, best chances of seeing rainfall today. As we go in a little closer, you can see that anywhere from Sugar Mill Woods all the way up through Cedar Key in line to get some light shower activity over the course of the next, well, if you're not seeing it, you'll see it in the next few minutes. But this whole patch of wetness right here and moisture, this is going to take some time to move through. So you guys are going to be under the influence of some spotty shower activity for at least a few hours today. There's a little closer look. The shower is now extending from Mozello through Crystal River in the red level area, through moving up into the Dunellen area and Ingus. But as we back out and pop in the satellite again, you can see the huge amount of cloud cover associated with this. The rest of the Tampa Bay area, look at this, relatively cloud free. I would call that sunny skies. But once you get from Pasco, Hernando, Citrus counties, the cloud cover is moving in off the coast right now. So let's go through the high resolution Futurecast and put it into motion. There's current time on the screen right now at 11:10 a.m. and you can see that it's verifying the shower and thunderstorm activity moving into the Nature Coast. There's 2 o'clock this afternoon, starts thinning out for the Nature Coast with regard to shower activity. There's still some more offshore, some light shower activity offshore, but look how the cloud activity now starts to propagate and spread a little further inland. Certainly all the beach communities are going to be engulfed in some kind of cloud cover here by about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Even some spotty shower and thunderstorm activity through portions of South Hillsborough County into Manatee, and certainly along the coast in Sarasota County and Pinellas County as well for Clearwater Beach. There's nearly 6 o'clock this afternoon. You can see now with the heating of the day and the lack of cloud cover inland, we're starting to see the pop-up shower and thunderstorm activity. And again, all of this is going to continue to blow to the east. There's nearly 9 o'clock tonight, and what is left over is moved east of Polk County. Still a fairly decent cell right there on the Polk County line, just east of the Polk County line and through Lake Placid. Again, that was 9 o'clock tonight. Back into motion again to 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, and look what we're seeing again as the flow continues to bring in that moisture up through the Nature Coast, the Crystal River area again tomorrow morning, and a little more cloud cover through the area as well. There's 11 o'clock in the morning, and you can see the widespread cloud cover throughout much of the DMA, much of our service area here at 10 Tampa Bay. There's nearly 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Again, now with the heating of the day, we're starting to see some small poppy areas of shower activity, even a possible thunderstorm or two embedded in some of these cells. But there you go. Now we're talking thunderstorms. There's a meeting of the sea breezes right there. You see that access line right there? So we're getting the easterly push, okay, off the Atlantic, and then the Gulf breeze. I wish I could turn my arrow around, but then we're getting the Gulf breeze meeting with that one, and it's going to line up anywhere from Orlando right through Lake Wales, just east of the Lakeland area, all the way down through Lake Placid and the Sebring area. 11 o'clock at night, trying to clear out. Still a fairly decent thunderstorm cell right there. That is Pasco County, northeastern Pasco County, extending southwestward through Lakeland, Lake Wales, all the way down through Lake Placid, some spotty shower activity. There's the water vapor loop. What you're seeing in orange right there is the dry air trying to move into the area today. Also dry air trying to push in from the north as well, and we are sandwiched right in the middle with just a little bit of moisture to tap into today. There's the atmospheric moisture. Let me put it into motion, going a little closer here. There's that swath of dry air I was just showing you. Today, certainly southern counties are going to be the driest today, but as you see the darker greens up here through offshore in the Gulf and through the nature coast, that only verifies what we saw earlier on Futurecast. There's tomorrow. Still a fairly decent swath of dry air. We're starting to get a little bit of saturation of that dry air. It breaks up. You can see the dryness where the imaginary dryness line would be right through here. But through the center of it now, we're starting to get some saturated conditions. And so our rain pops are still going to be there. Let me fast forward this into Friday. Still some dry air trying to push in these tans and these lighter greens, very dry air. The darker greens up here through the Panhandle, obviously the more moist air down here off Miami, more moist air. But still, as you can see, we're going to stay with fairly decent rain pops. I'm talking 50% or so. By Saturday, another swath of dry air for South Florida, but again, along the coast of the Gulf of Mexico, anywhere from, I'd say, Pinellas County, St. Pete Beach, Clearwater Beach, Indian Rocks, all the way up through the nature coast. Chances of certainly morning shower and thunderstorm activity. And there's Sunday now, more dry air moving into the area for much of our service area from Citrus, Hernando, Pasco, Hillsborough, portions of Pinellas, Manatee County there, Sarasota County there, Polk, all these folks, DeSoto, Highlands County, much drier on Sunday as well. Back in motion on Monday, and what happens? Look at this big swath of moisture. Moves right back in once again. So it's a little bit of a roller coaster, but not that big a deal. We're going to go from about a 50% chance of rain today. Things will push up a couple of degrees, or excuse me, a couple of percentage points as this moisture fluctuates back and forth through the area. Today is the end of August. If no named storm in the tropics pops up, we will have made it through the month of August without a new named storm. Crazy. Tomorrow technically starts the beginning of the meteorological fall, believe it or not. We're going to go from normals at about 91 degrees and through the rest of fall, certainly November, our normal daytime high should be in the mid 70s. But we're not going to see any kind of frontal boundary system cold front move through the area till November. So we're in for the long haul, folks, with regard to the heat and humidity here in the Tampa Bay area. All right. Pardon me. So let's move along. We are your hurricane headquarters here at 10 Tampa Bay. So let's take a look at the tropics. There are three different systems that we're watching right now. One area to watch is this wave of energy coming off of the coast of Africa, off of Senegal right now. And then there's another one behind it down to its south and east, forming right there. I don't know if you can see my cursor on the screen. This area right here will eventually come in as a tropical wave as well. We've got Invest 91L that we've been talking about for a couple of days, and now a fairly new Invest 93L way up here, central to North Atlantic. We're not even worried about that one. That's not going to hit the United States or be any threat to the United States. But let's go back and talk about Invest 91L and show you some of the particulars. There's where we're at right now with regard to the Hurricane Center out of Miami. As of last night's 8 o'clock update, they have upgraded this Invest to a 60% chance of forming into something tropical, a depression or a tropical storm in the next 2 days, and an 80% chance of it forming into something tropical in the next 5 days. This particular system coming off of Senegal right now is at a 40% chance of forming into something tropical the next 2 days, a 50% chance in the next 5 days. And you can see its cone of probability of where that's may become a tropical storm right there. But let's go back to 91L. That's the one we're really keeping our eye on. There's the satellite and radar with regard to Invest 91L. You can see some of the clouds here, not only on the northwestern side here, but also right down around here. Some of this blow off, some of these clouds being ripped off of this thing. This is because of the enormous amount of wind shear that is surrounding this storm. You've got wind shear off to its north and east that is blowing more of a northeasterly direction, and below it we have shear blowing in a southwesterly direction. So that kind of activity almost enhances that counterclockwise circulation to help this become more of a defined area of low pressure. We're seeing just a little bit of circulation. It's starting to form now. And even though this wind shear usually tries to rip the storm apart, and it has with this particular storm, this one's surviving nonetheless. And this wind shear may in fact help this storm to grow and propagate and turn into something a little more tropical. Let me go back real quick and get out of that so I can go forward one notch. There's the water vapor loop. This is dry air. All this orange and yellow that you see, this is dry air. This is the Saharan dust layer this is caused from. So not only does this storm have to survive the incredible wind shear, it has to survive all of this dry air in and around this system. And the potential track of this particular storm is going to be up to the north and west. So it's got to get through this layer of dry air as well. And if it can survive, if it can survive the incredible wind shear, and it can survive the dry air, the track of this particular storm is going to take it toward the United States. I mean, this thing is thousands of miles away from us, or 1,000 miles away from us. But nonetheless, a front from the United States here is going to push this storm off to the north and east. And right now, the National Hurricane Center in Miami is saying that it's going to take a severe northeasterly curve and possibly now be out of the way of hitting Bermuda. Some of the earlier runs had the curve a little further to the north and west, and then chopping up and moving up to the north and east right over Bermuda. Right now, it appears that this storm is going to miss Bermuda, certainly going to miss the United States. There's a few spaghetti plots that are bringing it into the Caribbean and through portions of Cuba, but we generally like to go with the consensus, and the consensus is that this will turn, again, apparently because of a trough or a front that is going to come through the United States from the west, from the Pacific Ocean, all the way across the U.S., and its energy will push that storm off to the north and east. And folks, tomorrow being the 1st of September, we are now very, very, very close to the height of hurricane season, which is September 10th would be the peak hurricane season. So now's the time to get ready. If you're not ready, we're talking hurricane kits and things to protect your home and house, and family, and dog, and cat, and animals. Make sure they're all set to go as well. Food, medications, anything else that you may need or your pets may need. There's the expected rainfall on the board right now. The next couple of days, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to stay right around a 50% chance of rain, really, not only for today, Wednesday, but Thursday as well. We up the chances a little bit. You may remember me showing you the water vapor loop, or excuse me, the precipitable water, and getting through some of this dry air and getting a little more moisture on Friday. Saturday, the coverage won't be as widespread, mostly I-4 northward, And then Sunday, a little more widespread, but a much less chance of rain on Sunday, down to a 50% chance once again. All right, so let's move along. Labor Day weekend, here you go. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It's almost a carbon copy for each day. 93 for the daytime high, partly cloudy skies with a chance of scattered afternoon thunderstorms. A 60% chance of rain on Saturday and a 50% chance of rain on Sunday and your Labor Day Monday. So nothing's a washout. Certainly it's all hit and miss. For the boaters, here's your marine forecast. Southerly winds today. We saw that on the wind graphic just a little bit ago. Winds 5 to 10 knots, seas a foot or less, being in the waters at a light chop. And you can see from that shot at Clearwater Beach, there is no chop out there at all right now. Gulf temperature sitting at about 88 degrees. Here's your 7-day forecast, partly cloudy. Today, chance of a few pop-up late afternoon thunderstorms, and it looks like they're going to be mainly inland. At about 50% chance today, 92 for the daytime high. Carbon copy of today for tomorrow, Friday as well, maybe up a degree. And as you can see, we're going to stay in the low to mid 90s for the next 7 days. All right, this gives me a chance to tout the podcast. Come on down with Rich Fields. It's Mondays, 3 o'clock on the 10 Tampa Bay YouTube page. Just go to YouTube and search 10, the number 10 Tampa Bay. Coming up, it's all about my time in Hollywood and game shows and so on and so forth. I've voiced 9 different game shows in my lifetime, in between doing meteorology. Busy guy. And coming up this week, our special guest is going to be one of the longest running rotating models that The Price is Right had ever had. I think she did nearly 800 some episodes. You know, they would rotate models out after the original 3, Holly, Diane, and oh boy, isn't that something? Did I say Diane? Holly? Oh, wow. Anyway, after the original 3 left the show, and I'm sorry, there's one of those moments, they started rotating models, and at one point I think they had up to 15 different models that would rotate. 3 would come in, you know, and do maybe 2 weeks of shows, and then they'd rotate them out, put in another 3 and another 3 and another 3, so on and so forth. But anyway, my guest coming up on Monday's show is going to be Shane Sterling. Absolutely, hands down, my favorite model of all time. Before I ever worked at The Price is Right, Shane was absolutely my favorite on the show. So she's going to be our guest. I almost said in-studio guest, but it's not in studio. It's through this live vMix system, sort of a Zoom system. And again, it's Come On Down with Rich Fields. It's live on the 10 Tampa Bay YouTube page, and you can listen to it. It's a video podcast, so you can watch, and you really should. I would recommend watching the live version or one of the recorded versions that's on the 10 Tampa Bay YouTube page, because we showed a lot of pictures, we showed a lot of videos. You can listen to it though on your favorite podcast provider like Spotify or Odyssey or Apple Music. It's out there. It's on all of them. Check it out. And if you want to join the community or join the conversation, you can go to our dedicated Facebook page at facebook.com/comeondownpodcast. So there we are. There's your forecast. There's what's going on in the Tampa Bay area. Let me just check the Facebook feed real quick, see if there's any weather questions or anything I can answer for you before I sign off here. Our next newscast will be coming up at noon today, and Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins will be going through all this. Is it going to rain 6 to 8 p.m. in Brandon tonight? Interesting. That is from Amy, oops, just lost you. Beckman, Amy Beckman, Brandon, 6 to 8 p.m. There's a possibility, because later in the day is the best chances of seeing those pop-up thunderstorms, although I believe they're going to be a little further inland than Brandon. You're just going to have to keep your eye on the radar and go to your smartphone, download the 10 Tampa Bay app. It's absolutely free. There's a fantastic radar on there, and that if we're not on the air, that will certainly keep you up to date, Amy. Chris Meyer, howdy. Any way we can get some water to Missouri? Golly, if we could bag it and send it to you, we would, Chris. Are you guys in the middle of a drought in Missouri? Cassandra Kistler. When will we start to get some cool nighttime temps? I don't know if you've noticed, Cassandra, with some of the nighttime shower activity that we've had, some of that rain-cooled air has settled in some of the evening and nighttime hours. Certainly maybe not enough to be eating outdoors just yet, like we all like to do here in Florida, go out in our patios or pool area, bird cage areas like we have in our house, and that's where we like to eat outside. Maybe not cool enough for that, but it's been noticeably cooler at night. And like I said earlier, look, we're not going to get a cold front to drop into the state of Florida until November. All right, so tomorrow's September 1st. We've got at least another 60 days to endure warmth and humidity. Once we get that first cold front through the area, you know, you remember how it goes. We get a day or two of really cool temperatures, and everybody's like, "Yay, it's here!" And then we're punched in the face again with a little more heat and humidity. Then another front drops, and then we cool off. That's really been the pattern for as long as I've lived in Florida. Let's see, who else do we have? Linda Sitter, thanks so much for tuning in. Anybody else have weather questions? Let's see, watch Star Knight, Cecilia Campo, Gert Zandberg, Maureen Hickey. Thanks so much, guys. We really appreciate you tuning in and watching. We try to do this every morning at 11 o'clock right here on the 10 Tampa Bay Facebook page and on our YouTube page as well. Make sure you subscribe and like us so when we go on the air live, you always get a notice that we are coming on the air. So that's going to do it. I'm going to sign off for now. Until the next time, we will see you on TV.